I'm just welcoming in everybody who is joining on the library from the archives. So this is a live class. Just waiting to see if anyone else will join. And then we'll begin. So just a few things. You might want some props. So I've just got 2 bricks here. Feel free to take anything else that you might want or need. Any pillows or cushions or bolster if you have it, potentially even a strap you may want to use. So please feel free to use all the props. Definitely encourage it here. Or you might want nothing at all. And I'll always show adaptations with the props and without. So we'll just give it a few more minutes. If you are joining from the archives, then maybe just take a moment just to relax. We'll find a comfortable position, a seated position. We'll just give it maybe one more minute. So if you've already joined, then just, like I said, either lying down or in a seated position and just find your center. Just relax. So I think we'll begin. So come into a seated position now. If you like, you can, hang on, I'm going to close my window just in case. Sorry. I'm not sure about the sound. So yeah, if you can come into a seated position, you're welcome to sit on the floor. Or if you're like me, you want to sit on a brick, then come into a seated position on a brick. And then let's just take a moment here. Just stop this music just for this beginning part. So just finding a comfortable seat, however you feel comfortable. You're welcome to sit on the heels, in easy cross-legged, in lotus, any seated position of your choice, on the floor or even on a brick or a cushion or a blanket. And so first of all, we just want to allow ourselves to arrive, to just find ourselves in our center. So maybe you want to first just take a moment just to take in where you are, just take in your space, this moment, just bringing all of your awareness to whatever is present in this moment. And just allow your shoulders to sink down towards the floor. And then also let your sitting bones be heavy. So you can let the back of your sitting bones sink down. And this creates a slight rounding in the lower back. And so just allow yourself to sink, almost slouch. So we want to find the grounding, the softening first of all. If it feels comfortable for you now, you can close the eyes if they're not closed already. And now just taking your awareness to everything that you can hear and everything that you can sense with your eyes closed. So just really tuning in and paying attention to all of those sounds. And as you're tuning into all the sounds, maybe just start to become aware of any sensations on the surface of your body. So maybe there's a breeze if you're outside, or maybe you can feel the temperature of your body. And then also noticing the parts of your body touching either the floor, your seat, or even other parts of your body touching each other, like the hands on the thighs, or even the back of the calves and the back of the thighs touching if you're cross-legged, for example. Just noticing all of these points of contact. And then start to bring your awareness to your breathing, to your breath. And we're going to start just by observing the breath. So first of all, just take a moment just to notice the quality of your breath, no judgment. Just noticing where you're at energetically. You might notice that as you bring your awareness to the breath, your breath naturally wants to start to extend. So if that happens, follow that. Allow your body to do what it is natural in this moment. And so we're breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, and we want to invite the breath to be long and steady. So you can even imagine the breath traveling up from the base of your spine all the way up the middle of your body to the crown of your head as you inhale. And then as you exhale, you send the breath back down from the crown of the head down to your base. And so just following the breath up and down, in and out. Just paying attention to that slight transition at the top of the breath and at the end of the exhale. And following the energy, with the inhale, you may feel the desire to lengthen, to allow the spine to grow tall. And then as you exhale, you may feel that connection with the softening, the grounding, softening of the shoulders, softening of the back of the eyes. And find that connection with that steady breath. And we're going to keep this rhythm, this connection, this flow with the breath as we move throughout the practice today, as we start to move our bodies. So really take this moment right now to really connect with the breath. It's your baseline, your rhythm, your energy. We're just connecting there. And now let's take the hands into prayer position. If you wish, you can set yourself an intention here. And then let's inhale. We allow the chest to lift and expand as we exhale. We drop the chin down and release the hands down. And then whenever you're ready, you can open the eyes. Raise your head and bring your attention back into the space. So if you're like me, I'm going to play a little bit of music for us today. So just a nice gentle playlist today. So if you're like me, you're seated on something, you're going to take that away now and come onto the floor. And then you're going to come into an easy cross-legged. Yeah. So with easy cross-legged, we're crossing at the shins and the feet are underneath the knees or underneath the thighs. Good. So we're just going to take a gentle, we're just going to start to gently move now. So we're just going to move from one side and just reach the arm over and then spread the arm across the front of the body. Take it to the side and then working the other side as we take the arm up and over. And then we're reaching, sliding lower, reaching the arm up and over. Excuse me. And then in front and then taking it to the other side. So we're working into the hips, into the side of the body, but then also into the flexion of the spine. Taking the arm up and over, and then in front and back to the side, up and over. So let's do that just one last time. Up and over, and then taking the hand out to the side and then just coming back up to a neutral position. And then we're just going to change the cross of the legs. And then we're just going to do that all again on the other side. So let's reach that arm over. And then take it in front, reaching up and then over, and then taking the arm out in front, and then reaching up and over, taking the arm in front to the other side, up and over. You can float the hand close to the floor, or you can take it actually to the floor. It's okay. Neither one matters. We're just gently starting to mobilize the body, working into the hips, the upper body, the shoulders. So nice and gently. And again, working with your breath. So stay with the inhale. You can inhale as you raise the arm. And then exhale as you reach across and down. Inhale, exhale. Good. Last one. Inhale and exhale, and then come back to the center. Well done, good. So now I'm going to show you from the side. We're going to come into a seated position and then just take the feet into a bent knee position. And we're going to have your hands slightly behind, and then you can lean into your hands. And then you're just going to rock the knees from side to side. So you're going to just let the knees fall over from each side. So we're just going to work slightly into the internal and the external rotation. We're just rocking the knees like windscreen wipers here. Just rocking the knees from side to side. Good. Keep going. Lovely. A few more times. Again, just staying with the breath. Let this movement be nice and steady, no forcing. It's just gentle mobilization. Beautiful, good. And just a few more on either side. And then we're going to come back into the center. So we're going to keep the arms behind our hips for now. And then we're going to bring the legs into Baddha Konasana position. So we bring the soles of the feet together and then we bend the knees out to the side. And then again, we're just going to rock the knees from side to side. Again, it doesn't have to be a big action, doesn't have to be forced, but just rocking the knees from side to side. And maybe seeing if you can take the both knees down at the same time. So you're kind of rocking back and forth. You see the movement of the pelvis here. You see I'm tilting back and then I'm tilting forwards. I'm tilting back and I'm tilting forwards. So you can see the action with the pelvis. Yeah, so you can either take it, rock it from side to side, rock the hips from side to side. This is a slightly easier action. It's not too strong on the inside of the thighs and the external rotation of the hip. Or you can move forward and back, or maybe even a bit of both, yeah? So just, again, gently, we're just gently mobilizing the hips, good. Last few breaths. And then finishing there, we're going to just bring the knees together, bring the feet together, and then slide the legs out And we're going to come into Paschimottanasana now. So we're going to lengthen the spine, lengthen the body out of the waist. If you need to, you can bend the knees here to grab the toes, or if you can reach for the toes with the legs straight. Now we're not going to fold forward. We don't want to curl just yet. I want you to find the length here. So you're going to use the holding of the toes to lift and lengthen the spine and look forward. And then you can pull the toes away, and this allows your body to come a little bit closer towards your thighs. Then if you want to, you can maybe reach a little bit deeper, and then inhale to lengthen. Exhale, you can pull the toes away as you're pushing the back of the legs into the floor if the legs are straight. Yeah, you don't need to come all the way, but just finding that place where you're just slightly on the edge of your comfort. Yeah, so it's not completely comfortable, but you don't want to be too deep in either. Yeah, and then wherever you are, wherever you find yourself, just holding here for 3, 4, and 5. Good. And then exhale, you can release. And then now we're going to just swing the legs around and come into an extended child's pose. So for extended child's pose, we want the knees about mat width apart. So we want the knees relatively wide, and then we have the big toes touching. And first of all, actually, we can just sit here and sit onto the heels. And again, we can just rock the hips. So again, just feeling into that motion in the hips, rocking them from side to side. Again, working with your breath. Good. Keep going. And then we're going to bring the hands slightly forward. Now, often what happens is when the hands come forward, the hips come away from the feet. So I want you to use your hands to push your hips back and lengthen your tailbone down towards the heels. So then you might want to walk your hands slightly forward again, but not coming all the way forward. And then again, maybe working that action of lengthening the tailbone and pushing away with the hands. Then we're going to come down onto the forearms, and we're going to keep the buttocks and the heels connected if we can. Come down onto the forearms, and then we're just going to straighten the right arm as we come over to the left. And then rocking as we straighten the left arm and come over onto the right. So we're keeping this nice and connected, and then just simply working from side to side. And then there's still a slight action, even in the forearms and the arms, as you push your weight back into your hips, yeah? And we'll just do that a few more times. 3, 4, good. And 5, come back to the center, and now you can reach your arms all the way forward. If you can, you keep the elbows straight, and you keep that connection of the buttocks and the heels, and maybe the head is coming to the floor, maybe it isn't. It's better to keep the connection of the buttocks and the heels. This keeps a grounding action here in the position, and it is from the grounding that we find the length, yeah? So work with the grounding first and then with the length. Good. Let's hold here in our extended child's pose, and we want to rotate, externally rotate the shoulders. So you see what I'm doing here? My shoulders aren't collapsing inwards. I'm externally rotating the shoulders, broadening the upper back and lengthening now through the spine and the shoulders and the arms. Good. And then from here, let's walk the hands over to the left-hand side. So we're just walking the hands, both of the hands over, and then opening out the right-hand side of the body, maybe working on grounding that right hip a little bit more. And then walking over to the other side, walking over to the right-hand side, and then opening out the left-hand side of the body. And again, maybe working on trying to ground that left hip just a little bit more. Nice deep breaths. Good. And then let's come back into the center, and then reaching further forward. Maybe you find a bit more space in the arms and the shoulders, the neck, the hips. And then let's hold here wherever you are for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Now we're going to roll up and then we're going to come up onto all fours position. So you're going to bring your knees hip width apart now, stack them underneath the hips, feet hip width apart, and the shoulders are directly over the wrist. So we're going to start in a flat back position, and then we're going to come into an extended position. So we lift our tailbone towards the sky, we drop our stomach towards the floor, and then we lift and open the chest as we draw the shoulders back. And then we're going to just hold here in a static position. So holding that extension position here, and then just breathing nice and easy, nice and steady. And again, you can imagine sending the breath up and down the spine. And then we're going to hold here in this position and then just rock the hips from side to side. So we keep the extension position and then just rock the hips. If you want to, you can bring your head into play and take the head to the side as well. Nice and steady. Again, nice and easy, just mobilizing gently, working with the breath. Good. And then we're going to come back into the center and then we're going to take the opposite action. So now we're going to tuck the tailbone under and send the spine up towards the ceiling and then bring the chin all the way into the chest. So a deep flexion now, pushing the hands away from the floor and again holding here. Nice deep breaths. Again, breathing up the length and breadth of the spine. Maybe noticing where you find a little more tension in the body. Is it in the extension or in the flexion? Yeah, no judgment, but just maybe just noticing. Good. And then holding the position and then just rocking the hips from side to side. Again, nice and steady. Working with the breath. Just gently allowing yourself to unravel, unfurl, decoil. Good, and then let's come back into the center, into the neutral spine position, and then we're going to take a classic cat and cow. So we inhale and extend, exhale to tuck under an arch, inhaling to extend, and moving with your own breath. So if you want to, you can make this a little more dynamic than I'm doing, or if you want to, you can take it a little bit slower. Either way, just following your breath in your rhythm. Good. Last 3 breaths. 2 and 3. Finishing with an exhalation. Let's come back into a neutral spine position. Now we're going to just stay here on our hands and knees and come into a sewing the knitting needle. So now we're going to take the right hand behind the left hand and then bring the shoulder and the head down onto the floor. Now you can take whichever option you want to with this left hand. You can keep the hand by the face. You can take it over the head, or even if you want to, you can take it to the lower back or grab the opposite thigh. So whichever one feels comfortable for you, whichever one you're doing now, you want to extend this hip away from the armpit. Yeah, so what tends to happen is we're starting to get crunched up here on the left-hand side of the body. And now I want you to extend that left hip away and then just feel the lengthening of the left-hand side of the body, that left hip, but then also finding the capacity to twist a little bit more in the upper body. So turning the chest a little bit more towards the sky as you draw your left hip away. Good. Last 2 breaths here. And 2. Good. If you had your hand up, you can bring it back to your face and we'll come back and then we'll prepare and then we'll do the other side. I'm just going to swap positions. So now you're just going to take your left hand behind your right, shoulder and head comes down to the floor, and then taking whichever position you want with that right hand. And then wherever you are, you're extending the right hip away. This also squares off the hips as well. Yeah, so we want the hips to be nice and even. So we draw the right hip away, open the chest a bit more. So we're working into the twist, but also into a lengthening of the side of the body. Let's hold here for 3, 4, and 5. Well done. And then we're going to come back on to all fours position. Now we're going to stack the shoulders. Nice. We're going to do a nice strong plank now. So we're going to stack the shoulders over the wrists. So we don't want to be too far behind. We don't want to be too far forward. That's probably going to feel uncomfortable on the wrists anyway. But if you can, it's okay. If you have got any issues in the wrists, you can use knuckles as well. Yeah. Stacking the shoulders over the wrists. We're going to straighten the right leg. And then relax. So we're preparing now for a high plank. So just noticing where the placement of my hips are when I straighten. Now straightening the left leg. See, my hips stay at the same height. So let's do that one more time. We're going to straighten the right leg. And then just notice where I have to hold, what happens in the hips when it stays here at this angle. And then we're straightening the left leg and doing the other side. Yeah, good. Now we're obviously going to come and straighten both legs. So start with the right leg and then find your position, push into the floor, nice and strong shoulders. And then we're going to slide and allow the left leg to meet us. Squeeze the thighs. So we've got a nice long line now from the shoulders to the wrists and then from the shoulders to the ankles. Good. Let's hold here for 3, 4, and 5. Well done. Now, if you want to, you can lower down into chaturanga as you exhale, or you drop your knees down to the floor. You extend your spine and then lower your chest down between your hands as you look forward, and then you bring your chin down. So knees, chest, chin as you exhale. Let's slide the chest through the arms as we straighten the legs. Push the tops of the feet into the floor. Inhale, lift the chest, look forward. We're now in a cobra position. We want to draw the elbows into the body and extend through the legs and push the tops of the feet into the floor. And let's all hold here for 3, and 4, and 5. Good. And we can release the feet. Tuck the toes under and then come up to an all fours position, and then come up into our downward facing dog. So adjust the feet. You might want to bring the feet a little bit closer towards the hands. And here in our downward facing dog, we want to send the hips up towards the sky. So sometimes it helps to lift the heels, send the head through the arms as you lift your hips up towards the sky. So you see what's happening with my upper back. My upper back isn't forward, it's in. Hips up towards the sky. Now I've got the strong arms pushing away from the floor. Draw the heels down towards the floor. Push into the back of the knees. Let's all hold here for 3, 4, and 5. Good. Now we're going to step walk or jump the feet towards the hands. So I'm aware my camera angle might cut off my upper body. So we just want to bring the feet into a hip width position. You can have a slight bend in the knees if you want to. And then we're going to grab the elbows and then take the arms behind the ears. So you don't want the hands in front. You want the arms at least in line with the ears, if not behind. This keeps the back and the spine long. Then you can lengthen and then just allow your body to sit onto the top of your thighs. And then from here, just rocking from side to side. Bringing the weight into each foot. Again, moving with the breath. Good. And then coming back into the center, let's just change the hold of the elbows. So I'm holding the elbows the other way, bringing the arms behind the ears, resting my body on the top of my thighs. Sorry, excuse me. And then rocking from side to side. Good. 3, 4, and 5. Good. Let's relax the hands down underneath the shoulders. We're going to lift the chest and look forward. Again, you can have a soft bend in the knees here, or you can straighten out the legs. It's up to you, but either way, we're lifting the chest, looking forward. This nice big inhale there. And then exhale. We're going to step, walk, or jump the legs back and come back into a high plank position and hold here as we inhale. And then exhale, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga if you want to as you exhale, lower down. Good, and then inhale into your upward facing or cobra. If you're in cobra, the hips stay on the floor. If you're in upward facing dog, the hips are off the floor. Let's hold here, 3, 2, and 1. Good, then we're tucking the toes under. If you can, you push all the way up into high plank, and then push back into your downward facing dog. Again, hips high and head through the arms. Let's hold here. For 3, and 4, and 5. Wonderful. So now we're going to step the left leg forward in between the hands and then bring the right knee down onto the floor and then release the back foot. Good. So we're going to come into this low lunge first of all. So we want both hands on the inside of that left leg. Now, as I bend my left knee, I allow my right hip to drop down towards the floor. And then I'm just going to take some circles here. So circulating here. If you want to, if you need to, you can have your hands on blocks. So if you want to and you need your body a bit higher, you can take the body a little bit higher. If you want it a bit more challenging, then you have your knee, your right knee and your left heel further away from each other. Okay, so just circulating into the hips here, nice and slowly, nice and steady. Again, nice deep breaths. 3, 4, and 5, and then just take the other way. So just circulating the opposite way. Yeah. Also here, important, have the big toe of the left foot really planted. Don't let the big toe come away from the floor. Yeah. So really keep that foot nice and planted so that we can isolate this movement in the hips. Good. And then last breath. Good. And then we're going to sink that right hip down into the floor again. And then you're going to take your left hand to your left knee and then tuck your right foot under, and if you can, you straighten the leg. If you want to, you can keep the knee rested here, that's fine. Otherwise, you straighten that back leg. Now, the first thing we want to do is kick into the heel. So almost like I'm pulling my heel back. And then I extend the leg, and then I try to bend a little bit more into that left leg. So I'm really opening out now that right hip flexor. And then we're holding here. And then reaching forward now with that left hand. So reaching the left hand forward and then reaching it up, if that feels okay, and coming into a slight twist. As I'm twisting my body, I'm drawing that left hip in towards me, that left knee in towards me, should I say, sorry. Now you see my hips have lifted slightly, so I want to do that same action. Kick back in the heel, extend the leg, and then bend that knee for 3, and then I've got more space to twist. 4, well done, and 5, good. And then coming back to the center, frame the feet with the hands, and then step that left leg back. Inhale here, exhale, knees, chest, chin, chaturanga as you exhale. Inhale, extension of choice, cobra or upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's hold here for a few breaths. Reset the breath. Just maybe noticing any difference in each side of the hip, the legs. 3, 4, and 5. Wonderful. Let's take the other side now. So we're going to take the left leg forward and then drop the right foot down, the right knee down, sorry, towards the floor. And then we're going to take both hands to the inside of the foot. So we bend that knee, we let the right hip sink down, and then we take those circles. So just circulating the hips, nice and gently. Again, mobilizing, done a little bit of gentle hip action. Good. And then rotating the other way. And 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to show this on the other side. So now you're going to bring your, it's your left hand down onto the floor, and then you're taking your right hand to your knee. Yeah. And then you're going to, first of all, just let your right hip sink down as you tuck the back foot under and then lift the knee away from the floor and extend. Now we want to extend into the heel, then push and extend into the back of the knee, and then sink the hip down a little bit more. First thing we're going to do is reach forward with the left hand, and then reaching up and coming into the side. So reaching the arm up, holding here, again, drawing this knee into the body for 3, 4, and 5. Excellent. Now, framing the feet with the hands, stepping that leg back into a high plank position. If you want to, you low down knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. If you're taking chaturanga, chest comes between the hands, elbows stay close to the body, and body is away from the floor. And then from here, inhaling, coming up into your upward facing dog, onto the tops of the feet, the legs are straight, knees are away from the floor, and the hips are through the arms, chest is through the arms. 3, 4, 5. Exhale, roll over the toes, and then come into your downward facing dog. Again, steadying the breath, connecting with the breath, finding the softness here. Good. For 3, 4, and 5. Wonderful. So now we are going to step the left leg forward now between the hands. Again, I'm going to show you on this side because we're going to open out the body. So we're going to step the left leg now between the hands and then turn the right toes out and then straightening both legs. So we're into Parsvottanasana now. So if you need to, you can take some bricks underneath your hands. If you need to, you can also bend that front knee. As much as you can, you want to square off the hips. So you allow this right hip to come forward so the body is directly over the front leg. Let's inhale here, exhale, and fold over the front leg. Strong back leg, so don't forget about this back leg. We're pushing away from the floor with the left leg, and then we're also grounding the back leg and drawing that right hip forward as we fold over the front leg for 3, 4, and 5. Good. Now we're going to keep the left hand where it is. You can come up even onto the fingertips if you want to. And then we're going to reach up and come up into Trikonasana. Yeah? And then we're going to reach the arm over and then lower the chest. And then open right back out again. Now, if you need to, you can bring your hand up to the shin. You can even use a brick if you want to as well, or you keep your fingertips onto the floor. Now, with Trikonasana, we want to bring the hips forward and the shoulders back. So we want to lengthen from the hips to the armpits. So just remembering that action again, strong legs, and then reaching up and over with the hands and maybe finding a bit more space with each time you raise that right arm. Last time. Exhale and then inhale. Reach that arm up. Let's all hold here for 3. You can turn your gaze and look up to the top thumb. 4. Good, and 5. Now, we're going to frame the feet with the hands, and we're going to turn slightly forward and come into a low side lunge. So we're going to slide down now onto this left foot. So here, if you need to, you can come up a little bit higher. Yeah, so you can come up and bend this knee a little bit less, or if you can, you come all the way down. If you need to, you can lift the heel or you ground the heel. Now, I'm going to invite you to take whichever option you want to with the hands. You can leave the hands here on the floor. You can maybe reach up with that right arm. You can even take the bind if you want to. You can maybe grab the big toe. Either one, holding here wherever you are for 3, 4, well done, and You're gonna walk the hands to the middle as you bring your body into the center as we prepare for Prasarita Padottanasana. So now we want to bring the feet into a parallel position, so make sure they're nice and straight or slightly turned in. And then we're going to take the hands underneath the shoulders to begin with. And then we inhale to lengthen. So we bring the weight slightly into the toes. Again, you can bend the knees if you need to, if this is too strong for the back of the legs. So inhale, exhale. You're going to take the crown of the head towards the floor. As you do that, you can reach towards your ankles and then bend your elbows as you take your crown of your head towards the floor. Relax the shoulder blades down the back. And holding here, wherever you are, for 3, 4, weight slightly into the toes. And 5, good. Inhale, look forward, keep the hands where they are. Exhale there. And then as you exhale, you're going to walk your hands back to the front side of your mat, frame the feet with the hands, and then step your left foot back. Exhale and lower down. Knees, chest, chin or chaturanga. Inhale to extend. Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Good. And let's hold here in this dog. For 5, 4, 3. Enjoy your dog. Enjoy a softness here. Good. Last breath. And then let's prepare for the other side. So now we're going to step the right foot forward now between the hands. And this time we're going to turn the left toes out. So I'm going to show you from this side. So have both hands on either side of the foot. Then you can take a brick if you need to. So the first thing we want to do is just establish a nice position with the hips. So you don't want the hips this way. You really want to square them off. So we're drawing back with the left hip, the right hip, sorry, and drawing forward with the left hip. Body is directly over that front leg. Inhale to prepare. Exhale to fold forward over the front leg. And then holding here for 3, 4, and 5. Good. We're going to keep this right hand where it is. And then open up the body to the left and come up into our Trikonasana position. Again, I'm going to show you on this side as I turn and change position. So reaching up with the left arm now and strong legs. And then we're going to reach up and over and then reaching up again. And each time I want you to find a bit more length here between the arms. Find a bit more space in the hips as you send the shoulders back and the hips forward. Good. And then rotating the arms. Beautiful. Rotating the arms. Beautiful. One last time. Exhale, inhale, raise that arm. And then just holding here in that Trikonasana for 3. Good. 4, looking up to that top thumb. And 5, excellent. You can bring that left hand down, and then we're just going to come into that side lunge now. As we bring the weight over to that right leg, we turn that right foot out slightly, we bend the knee, and then holding here. Again, you can come into a higher lunge if you need to, if you can't bend the knee this deeply, and you can also lift that heel also if you need to, yeah? Just be mindful here, wherever you are, you just want to keep that knee opening out, yeah? So you don't want to let that knee collapse inwards like so. You want to keep turning the knee out. So you can use your elbow to do this. And this holds the right alignment. And again, take whichever position you want to. Then with the hands, you can bind, you can reach up, you can grab the foot, or just simply keep the hands here on the floor for 3, 4, and 5, good. And then we're going to come up and prepare for our Prasarita now. So you can walk the hands back into the center. So you can see I'm adjusting the feet. So then just adjust your feet. You want your feet nice and wide and the feet are parallel. Hands are underneath the shoulders to begin with. And then we're going to inhale here. And then exhale, we're going to walk the hands over to the left hand side and then hold both hands holding the left ankle and then drawing your body towards the left knee, the left leg. 3, 4, and 5. Good. Now you're going to walk your hands across and then taking the other side. So holding the right ankle this time and holding your body towards your right leg. 3, and 4. And 5. Excellent. And we're going to come back into the center and take the hands underneath the shoulders again. And then we're going to bring the left hand to the center. And then raise up the right hand up towards the sky. So now you might notice that the left hip wants to collapse inwards as you raise your right arm. But I want you to draw that left hip back in line and then work with the spine and the shoulders and the arms. Let's hold here for 3, 4. You've got to work harder on the left side when you're raising the right arm. Good. And 5. Exhale. Take that right hand down and then bring the hands again into a shoulder width position. And then this time you're going to take your right hand to the center. Bring your weight into your right hand as you raise your left arm. And it's normal, okay, to let that right hip collapse as you raise the arm. But then you want to rectify that and straighten up with the hips as you then allow that twist to come from the spine and the shoulders. Keep drawing the right hip back as you raise the left arm. Good. 3, 4, nice steady breath. And 5, exhale. Bring the hands back underneath the shoulders. Inhale there and then exhale. You can walk the hands to the front of your mat again, framing your feet with your hands and then stepping your right foot back. Exhale, lower down, knees, chest, chin or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Again, let's hold here for 5 breaths. 5, 4, 3, 2, excuse me, and 1. Good. Now we're going to drop the knees down onto the floor. Bring the big toes together. Come into an extended child's pose and bring the head down to the floor. Now let's have the arms active. So although this is an extended child's pose, there's a little ease here, but still be active with the arms. So the arms and the elbows are straight. Elbows are away from the floor. And again, the hips are drawing down towards the heels of the feet. Good. 3, and 4, and 5. Excellent. From here, we're going to roll up, roll up, roll up, roll up, and come up. And then we're going to swing the legs forward and have them in front. So we're going to do a little bit of extension work now. So we're going to lie down onto our back and have our knees bent and then prepare for a little Setu Bandhasana. Just a little bit of an extension. So you want to bring your feet as close towards your hips as you can, and you want your feet about hip width apart, and the spine is nice and flat onto the floor. Now, first things first, we're not going to lift the hips. We're just going to work with the movement of the pelvis. So you're going to tilt the pelvis back and then tilt the pelvis forward. So you can see what's happening with the spine here. So it's just a gentle action, just noticing where is the pelvis, what is it doing, what's the spine doing, what's happening here. So now as I tilt my pelvis forward, you might notice naturally the spine, the chest opens, yeah, the lower back comes away from the floor, and then as I tilt my pelvis back, the whole of my spine is pressed into the floor and the chest slightly comes up towards the chin. There's a slight tucking under action here. So just noticing and feeling into that action of the pelvis, yeah? Good. Now we're going to start to bring a little bit of lift into this. So we're going to lift all the way up, but as I tuck under, I lift slightly, and then exhale, I lower down, and then tilt back, and let the chest lift, and then tilt, backwards now, and then slight lift, exhale, lower down, and then tilt forward, keep the hips on the floor, exhale. Inhale to lift slightly, exhale, lower down, inhale, tilt forward, exhale, come back and lift, inhale, exhale, come down, neutral spine, relax. So we're just starting to tease the muscles and the pelvis, yeah, and just finding this connection, good. Now we're going to take the hands and take them into a Shavasana position. So with the Shavasana position, the palms are facing the ceiling. And relax the upper body. So no work at all in the upper body. We'll take Setu Bandhasana again. This time I just want you to bring all of your focus to the lower half of your body. So we're going to tuck the tailbone under, or should I say tilt the pelvis back, and then lift the hips. Push into the feet, particularly the big toes, and then lift the hips and let the chest come towards the chin. But keep the hands relaxed. We're not doing anything here except pushing into the legs and lifting the hips. So sending the front of the hips up towards the sky, chest opens and comes towards the chin, and the back of the neck is long on the floor for 3, 4, and 5. Good. Exhale and then lower down. Now we're going to do that one more time. This time we're going to bring the hands into it. So we're going to inhale, come up, tucking under, lifting the hips. And then we're going to take the hands underneath the shoulders and roll the arms underneath the shoulders. Good. Push into the feet, lift the chest. And this time we want to push the hands into the floor. So you want to push the hands into the floor. Use that as a lever as you keep lifting the hips. Push into the big toes. There's a slight internal rotation. Hold here for 3, 4, and 5. Good. Exhale, lowering down. Beautiful. Now, invitation to take Chatushpadasana now, or you can stay with Setu Bandhasana. So whichever option we've previously done with Setu Bandhasana, you can take one of those. Or if you want to, you can grab the ankles, yeah? So if you need to, you can lift the heels in order to grab the ankles. If you want to, you can lift the chest to grab the ankles. So taking whatever you need, you can reach to the side to grab the ankles. So however you need to take the ankles. But then I want you to lie back down onto the floor. Once you have the ankles, ground the heels, yeah? So keep the heels grounded here in Chatushpadasana, a nice strong grip of the ankles. Now, if you can't reach the ankles, you can place the feet on top of the hands like so, yeah? On top of the palms, yeah? If you can, you grab a hold of your ankles and then lift the hips and come up onto the top of the shoulders. So again, you roll the arms in and then you lift the hips, holding here for 3, 4, and 5. Good, excellent. Exhale, lowering down, well done. And then just bring the knees into the chest, hug them into the body, and then rocking from side to side. Good. So we're going to take a nice easy twist now, yeah? If you want to, if you know your body, you know your practice, you want to take a stronger twist, then you're welcome to, yeah? But I'm going to show you a nice, really gentle, easy twist. So we're going to bring our feet back down to the floor. We're going to keep our feet hip width apart. We're going to keep our knees hip width apart. So we're going to keep the legs up, about hip width apart. Take the hands out to the side and then just let the knees drop down over to the left-hand side, yeah? So they stay slightly apart. Now, key thing here is to keep this right shoulder grounded. So this is our anchor. So as the right shoulder stays grounded, this is what allows me to find the length here on this right-hand side, yeah? If the right if the right shoulder comes with me, then we're not getting the length. So ground, even if it means that the knees have to lift slightly, ground the shoulder and then let the movement come from there. Good. If you want to make it a little bit more challenging, you can lift that left foot, place it onto the right knee. Good. And you can place your head wherever it feels comfortable, looking up to the sky, looking the opposite way, or looking towards your left hand. Good. And just wherever you are, just relaxing into it for 3, 4, good, and 5. And then just releasing that right foot, the left foot, sorry, and then coming back to the center. If you need to, you reset. And then you drop the knees over to the other side. Again, you can keep the knees apart. So I'm going to just take the other side, just swapping over. So just dropping them over to the right. Good. Again, the feet and the knees stay apart. And then if you want to, you can take your right foot to your left knee, but keep that left shoulder nice and grounded. Holding here wherever you are, releasing any tension, any effort. 3, 4, and 5. Excellent. Releasing the foot if you have it on the knee, and then just coming back to the center, and then just hugging the knees in again one more time, and let the spine be nice and long along the floor. You might want to rock and just gently release any tension in the lower back if there is any. So now we're going to do a very modified inversion. So if you have a block, I recommend taking a block. If you don't have a block, it's fine, you can do without. So I can show you with the block or without. So if you haven't got a block, or even a cushion, a blanket, anything to put underneath your hips, it doesn't have to be a big thing. So just something underneath your hips, even your hands you can use if you want to, or you just have your back flat onto the floor, and then you're going to just raise your legs up towards the sky. So if you do have a block, you can just come into this position, take the block underneath your tailbone, yeah? So you want it really underneath your tailbone, not underneath your lower back. That's going to feel very uncomfortable, that place there. So you want it quite low down, where the crease of your buttock is, or the top of the crease of your buttock, should I say. Yeah, and then you'll feel a heaviness in your shoulders, and then you can lift your legs. So this is Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. So there's an opening in the chest. So as well, you can exaggerate that if you want. Yeah, this is the Setu Bandha part of this position. Yeah, if you want to, you can exaggerate the opening of the chest and draw the chin in, or you can just let the chest be relaxed and then just simply lift the legs. Yeah, so it's up to you. Depends how much effort you want to make here. Yeah, let's hold here for another 5 slow breaths. Really let your breath be steady and slow now and deep. Allow the body to start to slow down and soften. And we'll take the last breath. And then we'll exhale. Bring the feet back down onto the floor. And then you're just going to lift your hips, slide your block away. And then just let your spine soften into the floor. So you don't need to do anything else. You let the knees fall into each other if you want to. Just let the spine soften. Beautiful. And again, breathe, soften. My cat scared me. She likes to join me for yoga quite a lot. Good. So now I'd like us to do a supported Matsyasana now. So we're going to take the brick underneath our shoulders. So you're going to come up and then take the brick underneath your shoulder blade. So you want the brick like around about here, yeah? Around about this placement. And then you're going to come back down onto the floor. And then you're going to slide yourself and open the chest, and then until the top of the head is on the floor. And then here, just let the legs fall out to the side. Now, if you don't have a block, then you can use your hands, yeah? So you can just bring your forearms onto the floor. Hips stay on the floor, you lift the chest, crown of the head comes down towards the floor. Yeah, so this is an option as well. If you do not have a block or even a blanket or a book. So whatever you have, you just want something underneath the shoulders, or you holding yourself there. And then just let the legs fall out to the side. Good. And then just relax. Good. Nice deep breaths. Again, we'll just take 5 more breaths here. You haven't got a block underneath you, you can just lie flat onto your back. Or if you do, you can just come up slightly, take the block away, and then we'll prepare now for our final relaxation. So let's all bend the knees. So this is a nice way to come into our Shavasana and just make sure our spine is just nice and elongated. So we're going to bend the knees first of all. Just going to lift the hips slightly, tuck under, and then lengthen, and then just lengthen the lower back down onto the floor, just so the sacrum is nice and released. We'll take the right foot to the right corner of the mat, and then we'll take the left foot to the left corner of the mat. And then you're going to flex the feet, so drawing the toes towards you, extend through the heels, so let the back of the legs lengthen, and then release the feet and let them fall out to the side. Hands are slightly away from the body, the palms are facing upwards, and then you're going to tuck your shoulders under, and then draw the chin in, and then relax everything. So then soften the shoulders, soften the spine, let go of the hips, let go of the thighs, let go of the back of the eyes, let go of the mind, and let your body melt into the floor. And just noticing if there's any tension at all in your body, and really allowing yourself to let go. Usually that's sometimes in the hips, so let the hips go. If it's in the shoulders, let the shoulders go. If it's anywhere in the face, let the facial muscles go. Allow yourself now to completely soften, completely relax, and completely let go. I'm going to allow you to finish here so that you can hold yourself in your Shavasana for as long as you like. Oh, thank you for joining me today, and I hope to see you again next time. Rest well.